Hi everyone, today I want to show you how to work on RamLink Elections, which is a really awesome feature that's a little underutilized that can really help your organization find its succession, figure out its position on issues, and really operate as an organization. To start, you want to have access as either a president, vice president, or financial officer to your RamLink page and go to the elections part of the 3 stacked lines sidebar. Then click on Create Election up in the top right. It'll basically take you to your main election area, so you'll want to come up with a snazzy name. So let's go in this case with Test Org Election Extravaganza, just to keep it a little bit fun. You might want to customize it, maybe say the year, like election 2018, for example. And you can also add instructions as you go, so please vote. Or, of course, if you have any information about your organization-specific elections. Next, you can customize the time and date of the election period. For example, you could just have it run for a day, you could have it run for a month. Maybe it's an ongoing year-long election as well. That's also a possibility. So if you're maybe trying to vote on a particular issue, you can have that go for a little bit longer. Finally, you have some options in terms of how you want to share your election. So with members, if you want to have it publicly visible on your RamLink page, really however you choose, it's your election and you can have it your way. Next, you'll want to create a ballot for your election as well. In order to start this, you could have one for your president, vice president, financial officer, as well as on particular issues that are affecting your organization. The actual options on the election form are fairly similar to how you would make a RamLink form, a Google form, or if you've ever used Qualtrics, some of those options as well. What's really nice about the election, though, is that you can do it a few different ways. So we'll start out with some instructions and make it really clear to everybody voting what exactly they're voting for and how they'd want to fill it out. And then let's explore a few different ways that you can run your election through RamLink. The first option is the radio button list, where you can only vote for one candidate at a time. So whichever candidate that the person selects will be the one that they're casting their ballot for. This is fairly clear, so the instructions are a little less necessary on this one, but you will want to enter in every candidate on the line below to make sure all the options are out there for your RSO members when they're voting. The next option is a really cool RamLink feature, which is ranking. Now with ranking, you can actually have your RSO members select their top 3, their top 5, whatever order they'd like to do with candidates. So you do want to make your instructions just a little bit more clear, since it's maybe a format a lot of your members are less familiar with. But what's cool about this is if you have a tie for first place or a particularly close race, you can start looking at your members' second or maybe third choices in order to better come to a leader or a decision on the issue that really appeals to most of your members. And then finally, other than the radio and the ranking, there's also just the classic write-in ballot, which you would want to use through your text field option. Now in that case, you'll want to put in clear instructions, and then really your members can write in whatever candidate they'd prefer. So maybe it's great for nominations, maybe you're part of a smaller organization or a larger one, or you just want to get as many issues and candidates out there. And there you have your first ballot, which is a pretty awesome start. So looking under publishing options, you can have the election listed on the front page of your organization, which is a great option if you want to make it really easily accessible, say during a meeting or overall. Or you could also copy and paste a link that's specifically shared through RamLink that you can send out in an email, in a group chat, and make those available. You do want to make sure your election status is set to active before you send it out to make sure all members can access it. Then once you click save on your election day, your election will be active and ready to collect new ballots and new votes. So make sure to reach out and campaign with your organization to get those ready. Now back on the manage side of RamLink, I can not only see my past elections, I can also look through the results of my current one. So I just go over to the results tab on the page, and then going through each ballot, I can basically see who won, who maybe is the second or third choice, and make decisions from there. So on the first one, really just Leslie Knope seems to have won very clearly outright. She got all of the votes. And then I can scroll through the ranked choice voting if that's kind of how I'd rather go, and compare maybe who's ranked first. In this case, they're about the same between question 1 and the full decision. And then I can look into ranked 2, where there are really varying opinions of between Tony Frank, Ben Wyatt, and then Jed Bartlett from the West Wing of who exactly should be maybe the vice president, who should be the maybe like runner-up or something like that, where if there was a closer tie, maybe we'd look at the number 2 votes. There are a lot of different methods for counting ranked choice votes. I would recommend looking through some other resources, maybe from cities and states that utilize ranked choice voting, as well as just making sure that your voters know how these ranks will be used in their election and how their votes will be counted. Finally, you can see your write-in candidates and your votes that way through scrolling to the top and exporting your results in a CSV form. Thank you for joining and learning about RamLink Elections. For more information, you can check out the RSO team at slice_studentorgs@collegestate.edu, or you could also come join us in the Laurie Student Center. We're in room 210. Thank you.